Put your hand on the screen.
How did they find out? Who was the one?
This show has gotten infinitely more gay.
The mystical land of New Jersey.
I don't understand how the laws in this country work anymore.
Hey, welcome to the Rebel Radio Show, live, uncut, and uncensored on WSRR Radio, saving the underground music scene. Am I right, Shaney?
Sorry.
On the board is Jules.
Howdy.
I'm Radio's Rebel DJ Style. 216-859-8699, that number to text in. Once again, 216-859-8699 is that Rebel hotline. Slow news week. Real slow news week. I don't know what to talk about today. Seems like nothing happened all week.
It was
Everyone was real chill.
pretty boring. Seemed pretty peaceful everywhere.
That's what I'm saying. Everyone was real chill.
There were no
enjoying the sun.
No bad vibes. You know, it seemed like the bad vibes levels were kind of down.
Yeah, at 100%. It seemed just everyone chilled out.
Yeah.
Everyone got along, had a good time this week.
So that's good.
So that's good. Yeah, no, there's
Happy
nothing
about
really
that.
to report on.
Yeah.
Other than there was, an instance with a couple strikes. Lightning strikes.
Yeah, lightning has been striking down upon 4 people. Or at least 4 reports in the last, it says 24 hours, according to this USA Today headline. So, don't get struck by lightning, guys. It's very real, and it's
4
out
people.
there.
Listen, Style brings this story in, and then he goes, I thought we were just past people getting struck
Who
by
gets
lightning.
struck by lightning anymore?
It's nature.
Yeah, I think
4
everyone
people in
does.
24 hours.
I
get
think
struck by
anyone
lightning.
can. I think anyone can.
Don't think so. I think you're putting yourself in a scenario if you're getting struck by lightning. I think you can avoid it.
I don't think that you can.
Pretty easily.
Putting
No.
yourself in a scenario.
It's literally faster than you.
You're just being outside in inclement weather.
It might be faster, but it's not smarter. I'll let you know right now. I can out-chess lightning.
The day that you outsmart a lightning bolt,
Let me tell you something. I've done it every day of my life since I was born.
no, you haven't.
Haven't been struck.
Get
You
the fuck
haven't
outta
been
here.
in lightning storms every day since you were born. So, I'll give
I
you.
was born in the lightning chain.
I'll
They
gi-
call me the lightning kid.
kid lightning.
Kid lightning strikes
That's
again.
style. That's that's style. No, that's kid lightning.
Dun, 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 dun.
I can't.
That's just when I brew moonshine, though.
No, I think that you can get struck by lightning at any place at any time. Probably less likely in cities, but more likely in big open fields.
The more time goes on, the less likely you are to be struck by lightning.
Disagree. Chances are equal. And
You want to bet?
And well, I guess. So like,
You want to
if
make a wager?
no,
You want to gamble on this?
no, I don't. I don't condone gambling.
All right, I'm just asking.
Gambling is not illegal, but maybe it should be.
You have to talk to the state of Ohio about that.
Ah, what do they know?
Bunch of fucking losers who get struck by lightning.
Yeah, a bunch of lightning heads, dude. they're down for the big lightning.
We are so much better prepared to not be struck by lightning today than we were in 1900. Than people in 1900 were in 1800. We progressively get less likely to be struck by lightning.
I'm just gonna read the opening little blurbs of
Yeah,
this.
go ahead.
of
Go
this,
ahead and,
and
whatever
we can,
false news you want to
we
fucking
can
put out there.
analyze. That's not false.
Whatever fake
not-
narrative you want to run about these lightning gods.
All right. At least 4 people were struck by lightning over a time span of roughly 24 hours on June 19th and 20th as summer thunderstorms pummeled parts of the nation. A 15-year-old boy survived being struck by lightning in Central Park, New York City on the afternoon of June 19th, according to reports by AccuWeather and other media outlets. The following day, on June 20th, 3 men experienced jolts in their... Dude, okay, I'm getting fake news right now. I'm getting yellow journalist right now.
Exactly.
Because they keep bringing up that article. The other article, like the pop-up article. I don't like that. So,
Fake news.
it was fake news. To go back. The following day, on June 20th, 3 men experienced jolts in New Smyrna Beach in Florida on the state's east central coast. A 29-year-old Colorado man standing in the ocean in ankle-deep water around 12:30 p.m. was critically injured by the lightning strike, according to the director of the county beach.
Well, that's his own fault because everybody knows you shouldn't be in
what I'm
water when
saying.
there's lightning.
That's what I'm saying. Put himself in that situation. Easily avoidable.
So, a bystander and a lifeguard immediately started life-saving measures, but the victim was unresponsive and taken to the hospital. I wanna read up on the other two, or the other 2 people.
We live in a society.
Mm-hmm.
And in that society, there's this little invention called the lightning rod. And it's been around for quite some time now.
Yeah, we all got one.
No, let me.
There's enough around where you shouldn't be struck by lightning unless you're standing in a field or in the ocean.
Let me finish the story because
All right,
it does get
finish
interesting. Later in the afternoon, about 8 miles inland, 2 men on the Venetian Bay golf course were jolted when lightning struck nearby, but neither of them were taken to the hospital. So,
Were they jolted because they were holding on to metal golf clubs?
in a big open field,
Why are you golfing in a lightning storm? Putting yourself in harm's way.
that's kind of what I'm saying. It seems like you still can get it. So Style, to
Yeah.
go to your original point, it seems though as if it is still possible to get struck by lightning, but you have to be doing the specific things that they tell you not to do in a lightning storm. In a lightning storm.
It just so happened that 4 people were doing things that you're not supposed to do at the same time during the same lightning storm.
That is true.
Well, I mean, the odds of that is not, like, astronomical.
It's
What?
not astronomical, but it's crazy that it happened 4 times.
Have we gotten too comfortable? Have we gotten too comfortable thinking, hey,
I think maybe
lightning's a thing of the past?
You've gotten too comfortable.
Yeah,
Your
100%.
original point was that nobody gets struck by lightning. You're one of
We're
the.
past this.
You're going to be
I am.
frolicking through
No.
Central Park during a lightning storm. This cannot affect me.
I don't think you know what Central Park is.
Yeah, that's where the 15-year-old boy got struck.
Frolicking?
He was in Central Park.
Was he frolicking? What was he doing? Was he
It-
flying a kite
It
with a
doesn't
key on
say.
it?
It doesn't say.
If I was a betting man,
He was probably
he
not.
probably had a kite with a key.
He was probably not Ben Franking it. I highly doubt that he was Ben Franking it in Central
he
Park.
was definitely franking his Benjamin in
No,
Central Park.
He was not franking his Benjamin in the middle of Central Park
He's
in this
missing out.
lightning storm. All right?
He's missing out. I've been there, and I haven't been struck. I think I am the perfect amount of comfortable with lightning. I have no fear of it.
I think that's
There's
not
nothing
enough.
to be afraid
I
of
think
with
that's not
lightning.
enough. I think
don't think
that's
so.
not enough.
I live in a house, right?
Yeah, the house can't save you from when you're outside,
I'm not going to be outside in the lightning
but
storm.
you could be.
At what point am I outside in the lightning storm and I go, oh, it's a lightning storm. I'm
There
going to
are-
stay outside.
There are an endless
I don't golf.
There are endless possibilities for reasons as to why you would be outside during a lightning
And
storm.
none of them have happened to me so far in
But
25
they could.
years.
But they could.
won't.
You've only gone through 25.
I'm smarter. I'm smarter than these people.
You're not. The people are lightning, and lightning are not a people. So
I
yes,
am
you're
smarter than
them,
lightning.
But you can again.
We've established that.
You can't outsmart lightning.
I can.
No, you
I
can't.
can't outrun it, but I can outsmart it.
Yeah,
You
it's
might
not,
be able to outsmart lightning by doing the things that they
You
tell
could-
you not to
What
do.
if I wear rubber shoes?
You could do very
No,
specific
no.
things to make lightning want to go away from you.
Yes.
But I don't think that you are going to.
Listen, if I'm in a car has rubber tires. I'm going to be fine. Right?
No.
Yes, actually, that's why cars don't get struck by lightning.
Cars do get struck by
Cars get
lightning.
And
by
you're
lightning.
fine. And you're fine.
You're fine, but the car's not.
Yeah.
It
most
doesn't
of the
matter.
time.
That's what we're talking about is me being fine.
Okay.
If I'm in
I'm
the car
not-
and the car gets struck by lightning,
I'm not
I'm
gonna,
fine.
I'm
If
not going
I'm
to
in
choose
the
to be in
car-
a car.
If I'm in the car
If-
and the car gets struck by lightning, I'm telling people I got struck by lightning.
the hypocrisy.
Top
Shady.
choice. Top choice is underground.
The digging.
Yeah.
Like you're out. Okay. New scenario.
I'm
First of,
underground. It's a
first of
lightning
all-
storm. I'm digging.
first
now
of
you're
all,
gonna get struck
that's a metal shovel.
in your
Get me
shovel.
into the tunnels.
What do you got? A rubber shovel?
Pre-dug.
Oh yes, the
Pre-dug-
tunnels you have for lightning storms. In
Pre-dug
Central
lightning
Park.
tunnels.
It's my band name.
Quick, everybody, get in the lightning tunnels.
Dude, you would rock an ancient Aztecian culture. Like these are the lightning tunnels. Nobody is at risk.
Get in.
Trust
quick.
me.
Start
The
filling up
aliens
with the
can't hurt you.
rainwater. You drown everybody in the tunnel.
Aliens can't hurt you. Fuck off. The hypocrisy.
Why? What's
I
what's
said-
hypocritical?
I said if I'm in a car,
What's
and
hypocratical?
you said I wouldn't be in a car. That was your reply to me saying if I'm in a car. You said I wouldn't be in
Oh,
a car.
okay, okay. So
So-
if you're in a car,
So if I was in a car, I'd be fine. But your whole point
but
is
you don't know that.
But your whole point is if I'm out in a field in a lightning storm and I choose to
No.
be out there.
No, my point is lightning is still dangerous. It's not if you are
I'm
specifically.
not saying
in a
it's not
field.
dangerous. I'm saying it's avoidable.
It's avoidable. No, you said it is not dangerous. You have zero fear.
I have zero fear. That doesn't mean it's not dangerous.
Zero miedo of the lightning.
Zero miedo of lightning.
Listen.
Of Liteca.
I have zero miedo in general, but of lightning, I have teeny miedo.
Uno.
Uno miedo.
Uno miedo.
Yeah, yeah. I have
It's
uno-
lightning.
I have uno miedo. Not even like in my day-to-day life, but like
Then you should.
there was a big storm the other day, and I wasn't like, oh no.
You
Shi-
weren't shaking in your boots.
I wasn't shivering me timbers.
Because it's not a threat.
But if I'm like outside and there's a lightning storm, I'm scared.
If
I
I'm
am-
driving,
if I'm
scared.
driving,
I'm not driving. I'm fine driving.
in the
I think-
downpour rain.
I think driving it's more the rain than
Yeah.
the lightning.
Yeah.
But that's still scary. But that's a whole different thing.
Lightning is all looks. A lot of show. A lot of peacock
All f-
moves
all
from the lightning.
filler-
It's all, yeah.
All filler, no killer
Yeah.
with lightning.
All bark, no bite with the lightning. You know?
Zeus is gonna smite all of us after the show today. like
No,
he's our
Zeus is a
boss.
fan of the show.
We're gonna be the next three.
We're gonna have a
to
power
get
outage.
struck in 24 hours.
All of us.
Yeah, we're gonna be the next 3 in 24
All of us
hours.
are gonna be standing in fields with golf clubs outstretched in the sky. I'm saying, number one, usually golf clubs have rubber handles. So you
Yeah,
should
but
be
if it's
fine.
a big long lightning, if it's a big long metal rod, It's gonna attract lightning.
Right. So don't put yourself in that situation is my overarching point. We are smart enough as a society, we should be, other than these 4 people,
Yeah.
to go, hey, there's a lightning storm. Maybe I shouldn't be on a fucking golf course or in the ocean.
And
Or
think most
I don't
of
think
us are.
Exactly. I don't think that takes too much thinking. We've been around long. Lightning has been around long enough for us to know.
We
how it
know
works.
its pattern.
Yeah, we can figure this out.
We-
That's why we have lightning rods.
Seems like we already did figure it out.
yeah,
Yeah, I guess we are behind lightning being a problem.
Yeah.
it's not a threat.
The rod.
The
We say lightning, go there.
we can channel where lightning should go
Yeah.
most of the time.
There's
It's not
enough
really a threat.
scientists that are like
Yeah, have it strike
researching
them.
it.
Now I will say
Sure,
an over
for
like
science.
an overcompensatable amount of lightning, that would be threats to us all. If there was just like
There's a lot of it.
if there was a lot of lightning,
Big lightning storm.
big giant lightning storm that like came through a city or something like that.
Why is that not like a premise for a movie? Like the big lightning.
Yeah.
Like just constant.
Oh, no, here comes the big lightning. They like turn into like
Yeah,
skeletons,
yeah.
blue highlight
Yes.
outline like cartoons.
Hollywood 216-859-8699 if you want to buy the rights to the big lightning. The sequel to the Big Lebowski.
Is that possible though? I'm assuming that is possible, right? Just a lightning storm with like no
you
rain,
would need a lot of
heat,
heat and a lot of cool.
and like have them hit together.
Yeah,
right?
you would
And
need
then-
a lot of air density.
Interesting. So theoretically, a lightning storm with no rain that is like super intense and like actually a threat to humans is possible, but
There'd probably be a
very,
tornado in
very
there.
unlikely
Yeah.
and like one like
Less than 1%.
right. It's a very slim to
Yeah.
none chance.
So until we get to that point, lightning's a non-factor for most of us. For anyone with an average IQ, lightning's a non-factor. Even I remember in elementary school learning about lightning. When they're like, "Hey, they see this zagged little bolt? That's a lightning. That's what one looks like. If you see one of those, it's bad." But I remember learning about lightning rods and not to be in water and not to be in an open field.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the example I remember vividly in 3rd grade, the example that was given is if you are in a field, an open field, you are going to be more likely to be struck by lightning than if you are in a field with trees because it's going to go to the taller object.
Mhm.
So as long as you are not the tallest thing in the area, as long as you're not holding a metal rod or in something conductive, you'll be fine.
Dude,
Just apply logic. Lightning, not a threat to me.
Yeah, that's why they always kicked us out of the swimming pool in summertime. They
Yeah.
said, "Hey,
lightning.
the lightning's coming."
Oh, the lightning, right.
Well, it was as soon as they heard thunder, it was like, "All right, you're out for however long."
You
There was
know-
like a timer.
You know why? Because thunder always comes after lightning.
Ka-chigga.
So, according to the lore on Rebel Wiki, I'm 12 feet tall. So
You've been fucking around with that again?
yeah. So I can't avoid it.
That's true. You are statistically more likely to get struck by lightning than any of us.
Right.
It's also, you have the metal spikes like the Darth Maul on your head.
Yeah. Yeah.
216-859-8699 if you have been struck by lightning.
Dad didn't leave for cigarettes. He's out in the car, listening to the Rebel Radio Show. Shane, name a color.
Blue.
Jules, name a color.
Yellow.
Yep, you're right. Both of those can be pressed at hellbendervinyl.com. So if you're an artist looking to make your next album release something special, get it pressed in blue, yellow, or any variety of colors with Hellbender Vinyl. They're Pittsburgh's first and only custom vinyl record pressing plant and one of America's most trusted. They're hellbent on quality, hellbent on service, hellbent on satisfaction at hellbendervinyl.com. Proud supporter of WSRR Radio and local and independent music. And I am a proud supporter of using your free will in any scenario you can.
I mean, I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that.
What do you disagree with then? Because it sounds like you're about to disagree.
No, I
When
don't
you
disagree
set something
with
up like that,
I don't disagree with that. I agree that it's good to use your free will in any given moment.
what about driving?
Yeah. For the most, yeah, I would say it's in fact more important to use your free will while driving.
Really?
Yeah.
I disagree.
What?
I think you should be told how to drive.
I mean,
I think you should be told how, where.
I think that you're.
I think you should just autopilot and look at your GPS. Don't even look at the road.
I don't. I just look at my GPS the whole time.
That's what I'm saying.
Is
What
that
do you
bad?
need the road for? You got a digital one right there.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought.
It's kind of the future.
My car has a lot of dents on it, and the police have been chasing me for the last 20 years. So
And at least it ain't lightning.
yeah,
At least you haven't been struck by
I've
lightning.
been avoiding that. That's good.
It's like cops. I'm avoiding the lightning. Tell me about this old man.
All right. So, an elderly man, 80-year-old, he was on his way to work. He took a wrong turn and drove his Mercedes-Benz sedan down Rome's famous Spanish Steps.
We should
And-
clarify, he lives in Rome. It's not like he took
Yeah.
a wrong turn and ended up in Rome. It's not like he's from, like, Seattle.
Like from Wyoming. How
Yeah.
did I get
How
here?
It's a Rome.
Must have took a wrong turn somewhere.
Yeah, this is supposed to be his
You're
regular
3 weeks late for work, buddy.
his regular commute gets stuck and ends up driving down
Yeah.
some steps. Anyway, the police ended up having they stopped the man. They told him, do not drive any further. He made it like halfway down the steps.
And so the steps are like super insanely long from what I saw and understand.
There's like, so
Is it like the Joker steps,
But longer.
but longer
it's more.
and less dance?
And there's like there's stretches in between little spots of stairs. So
Yeah, it's
like
a
you'll go
staircase.
Yeah.
downstairs and then walk on a flat surface, go down.
Picture
yeah.
picture big stairs.
big stairs.
You could not skateboard, like you could not jump down these stairs on a skateboard. They're so
Yeah,
big.
picture Resistance from MW3. It's those stairs.
The longest stairs in the world.
And this
Yeah, well, I don't know if that's true.
this
Close.
guy decided he wanted to drive down them. Well, maybe. Well, kind
Well,
of.
Halfway.
here's
Halfway.
clearly this guy shouldn't be driving. Number one, that's I think main problem here. This 80-year-old dude who mistook stairs as a street shouldn't be
Yeah.
driving.
Or like, what wrong turn do you take to accidentally end up on a pedestrian?
Right, because those
Step,
stairs aren't
like, walk, you
leading
know.
right into the street, right?
Right. At least you would
Yeah.
assume.
Yeah. So, number one, probably shouldn't be operating a motor vehicle. Number two,
Yeah.
how many stairs do you think he went down before he realized?
I think he
I
knew
don't-
right away
I don't
he
think
was
he
on some stairs.
Really? See, I don't think he knew.
At
really?
I think that the whole time he was just like, man, the road's pretty bumpy.
They must
When
be
in
doing
Rome.
construction when in Rome.
He probably just said, when in Rome. And went
So-
down the steps. Yeah.
There's a video of this, and he seems to be driving very gingerly down these stairs. Like, he knows he made a wrong turn, but, like, there's no
True.
turning around.
True. Yeah. It's just one of those things where, like to Styles' point of, like, if you are too old to make a wrong turn and end up down
Not
these-
on the road.
not on the road, like that that is where the problem starts.
Yes.
You know, it doesn't matter if you're like, oh, I made it on the road, but I made it on the steps, but I slowed down. You know,
I only made it down 3 staircases.
Yeah, I didn't hit anyone.
It's not better.
Yeah, right. It's like, well, it's still not good.
Because you can't back up, right? You can't go back.
Right.
You're gonna have that momentum working against you.
Right.
So like, I get it.
Or you could floor it back.
Or you spinning your tires,
Yeah.
tearing them up on the step. Because like, yeah, what do you do in that scenario, right? You take somehow you take a wrong turn. Somehow
How did I-
Palpatine returned, right?
Yeah, right.
You make a wrong turn, you're on the steps. At this point, you are like 2 steps deep in your front tires. As long as your back tires are off and still like not on the steps, you can back up.
Right.
But once your back tires hit the steps, you're fucked. You're
done.
going down.
Yeah, you're not going back up.
My issue is you should be able to realize that you are going down steps before your
Yeah.
back tires hit those steps.
Yeah. And like even that incline of
Yeah.
like the first step, you're like,
Oh, this isn't a hill.
yeah, right.
All
He
I see is
probably-
stairs in front of me.
Yeah.
He probably could have made it back up just one
Well,
stair.
And that's
Yes.
that's why I think that he didn't clock it at all.
I think so. I think
I don't
you're
think
right.
that he was even. He was like, "Oh man, this road's just very bumpy."
Yeah.
It's like kind of sucks, but furthers the point of this man should not be on the fucking road.
I think there's a very special class of drivers out there that are just really absent-minded when it comes to basic road knowledge.
Mm.
And I
Mhm.
think that his age definitely plays a factor into this, but I
Yeah.
think that a lot of people are of this mindset of this guy probably made this turn thinking it was a road initially, got to the part where his car is both front and back tires on the steps, and at that point probably realized they were steps, but didn't have the mental process to go, I shouldn't be here. I'm going to keep driving, and I'm going to have to find some way out of this. I don't think that's the part that clicked with him, is the fact that you shouldn't just keep driving down these steps once you're there.
Right.
Honestly, I don't know why this happened in general, because this is supposed
It
to
happened
be
in Rome, actually.
his drive. Shut the fuck up. This is supposed to be his drive to work. Like, how do you take a wrong turn
Yeah.
on, unless he
On
like
your
just got
commute.
this job and this was
Right.
his first day, but
Well, and so like the mental picture that I painted was there are a lot of pedestrian walkways in Rome and in like
Yeah.
Italy and Greece and those countries where like it looks like a road, but it's just for people. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right.
And so I wonder if at some point he got mixed up and ended up on one of those with not a lot of people on it, and then made a quote unquote wrong
Right.
turn onto the steps.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so like that's where I have at least again, this is what I thought in my brain, like how it happened. Obviously I don't know for sure. The article doesn't get into the specifics, but like I would have to imagine that he turned onto a pedestrian area and then turned down the steps. And so my problem lies with him mixing up the actual road
Right,
and the pedestrian
right.
road. That is where the problem lies. Because it's probably very clearly like gated off.
Sure.
Or, you know, there's big
It's like driving
pillars
onto
or-
a walking trail.
Yeah, right. You would
Yeah.
know not to do that.
Right.
And so, like, if an old person in Ohio was driving on the Erie towpath or
yeah.
something like that, we'd be like, "That's a problem.
This guy, you can't put a car there,
That's
buddy.
not a road."
How'd you get here?
right. And so this is probably that situation,
Right.
but the Roman version
With steps.
Yeah, right. The Roman version with steps. And so, like, that's where I think it's like, yeah, probably shouldn't be driving if he can't discern the road from the walkway.
But the
you know?
problem is, and what I was getting to earlier, is I think there's a certain group of drivers that just lack that basic instinct on the road. And I see this
Yeah.
all the time of
Yeah, I
like,
agree.
if you miss an exit or you miss a street, what do?
You just keep going.
You figure it out
Yeah,
after.
you just have to keep
You don't
going.
like back up or
Right.
stop or try to cut through traffic to get
Right.
that shit pisses me off more than anything else on the road, is seeing somebody take a wrong turn and then try to still make
Try
the
to
turn they
correct
pass.
it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, buddy, turn around in McDonald's or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Fuck, it's not that big of a deal.
Right.
You have a GPS.
Right.
You will get there.
Take the next exit, turn around, get on back
Right.
on.
Right.
Yeah, people that like will fucking get their car over to the median on the exit and park and wait and you should not be on the road. I
Right.
trust this 80-year-old man on the steps more than I trust you.
Yeah, I just feel like this guy was probably just an old geezer who didn't quite
I feel
know
like at
what was
some
going
point-
on.
He made it down a couple flights. I feel like at some point I would try and floor it.
Yeah, that's what my brain now tells me to do.
Yeah.
Just punch it, see
Yeah.
what happens.
I don't think
Once
I
you're
would.
there and you realize you're in a bad spot,
you're not
like
going back.
yeah, you
But-
can't back up.
You can't go to either side.
Right.
I will say he was in like a little sedan. I think my vehicle, my personal vehicle, would beast these fucking stairs. It would have no problem.
Sure.
But that car that he was in, I feel like it would scrape. It would have some issues. It wouldn't
Right.
make it
Right.
to the bottom.
That's why I'm saying, like, you start rolling, right? You get down to where you feel it getting, because you'll feel it. You'll feel you losing traction. You'll feel it getting a little steeper. Your car's not going to be able to make that climb. At that point, that's when you fucking pedal to the floor and just, your suspension's fucked anyway. Just fucking jump the stairs. What's the worst that could, they're probably taking your license after this anyway. So you might as well just fucking go out in a blaze of glory.
So here, the guy was a resident of Rome. Was at a loss to explain how he wound up driving down the famed steps, and they did not release his name or what car, and it was unclear if the car was his.
That's that classic,
Okay.
that classic old person driving. How did I get here?
Yep.
Yeah.
How did I get here? Well, maybe you shouldn't be operating a vehicle.
That's one of those things. Like, I know it's talked about so often, but it's just kind of wild that it's still not something in play. Of like, once you reach retirement
60
age,
or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
65, something
Yeah.
like that, you have to mandatorily retake the test every 2,
Yeah.
4, 3 years, whatever.
Right.
Like, that should be mandatory.
Oh, 100%.
And it shouldn't be a back and forth between old people and the government.
Right.
Like, that should just be something in play.
I don't know. If you want to take a driving test, 216-859-8699. I'll go set up the cones.
Rebel Radio Show is live at 5.
Stop saying Daryl the Wild Man Show as if it was like a show that was on it. Well, that's not a thing.
Every Monday on WSRR Radio.
Synergy Music Studio, based out of Chicago, Illinois. They're home for mixing, mastering, recording, session work, demo work, and more. A whole litany of services, handcrafted and specifically crafted to meet their clients' needs. For more information, synergymusicstudio.com is your one-stop shop for all of that. They're proud supporters of local and independent music, just like GenericClothes.com is. Stick it to big brand clothing companies, have a laugh at their expense, and wear a shirt that gets straight and to the point. Perfect for any occasion or a gift. GenericClothes.com is where you want to go for your next purchase. Texas is where you want to stay out of, because all your exes are there.
Oh, God, all my exes are in Texas. I feel like I'm Georgie boy.
This must be what George Strait was talking about.
Literally,
This is why he hangs his hat in Tennessee.
Yeah.
So, what we're talking about is this man, and so there was a couple.
Yep.
They were engaged to be married. They went as far as to get their marriage license, and after that, they had split up. Once,
For clarification, a marriage license is a license to get married. It is not your marriage certificate saying you are married.
correct.
Okay.
Yes. So they got this marriage license, and then they split up. Marriage didn't happen.
Sure.
Years later, I believe. I'm not sure exactly how
Years
many.
later would be I thought that this was, when you had brought this up beforehand, I thought that this was right after. Years later would be...
Oh, no, I apologize. They got the marriage license June 2nd.
And then they split up.
And then they must have split up, and then it doesn't give us a date as to when. So this man had received a marriage certificate in the mail with his name and his ex's name on it, saying that they were married. He contacted the police trying to figure out what had happened. She ended up tricking we don't exactly know. I'm saying tricking,
yeah,
like
sleuthing the priest or whatever.
Yeah,
Sleuthing the Priest is a good band name.
she got the priest to officiate the marriage on the certificate, the license, and then she took that paperwork and took it to the county clerk's office and had it filed as a actual marriage.
So, these two were going to get married, signed their marriage license, didn't end up staying together, broke up. I'm assuming moved out or
Probably, yeah.
separated
Right.
somewhere. And then this guy in the mail gets his marriage certificate saying that they are married, notified, signed, ready to go,
Yep.
officially legally married in the state of Texas, unbeknownst to him.
Yes, that is correct.
Do you have to get a divorce? This is
I
legal,
feel-
right?
I feel
So-
like it's one of those things where the court office would be like, it sucks, but yes, you have to. You have to go. You went through the...
Right.
Technically, because they did technically go through the legal bindings.
He
of-
technically didn't, though.
and that's something for the courts to decide.
Well-
But, like,
So
That's up to Texas.
yeah, right. That's up to Texas.
I feel like the priest needs to be brought up on charges.
Probably.
I guess it varies
Depends.
state by
'Cause
state, right?
Depends on
They
if
are
the...
given the approval to marry people by the state.
Yeah, I guess maybe the priest should have done a little, but it's one of those things where, like, if the ex-girlfriend, fiance, if the ex-fiance tricks the priest into thinking that they're both on board some way, somehow, I don't know, but if that, like, tomfoolery is in play, then maybe it's not the priest's fault. Maybe all the blame lies on the ex.
Here's what I don't understand.
I don't know.
Do they
but-
say it's a priest specifically?
Let's see.
Not like an officiant or at the courthouse or something like
Yeah,
that.
maybe it is just like a
A notary.
right.
The police department is not releasing any information on who officiated the
Okay.
ceremony.
Because that's my question. Is usually the person or the priest or the officiant or whoever who signs your marriage certificate is the one who did your ceremony.
Right,
So if there was no
right.
ceremony, how do you go to the priest and be like, "Hey, remember how
Right.
you're supposed to marry us? We got married. Can you sign this?"
Right.
I don't think he would have the power to do that. Or
Right.
why would he do that if he didn't do the ceremony?
But
Because then at that point you could maybe go to the courthouse and get it notarized.
Yeah, that's
I don't
so.
know.
Whoever
Again-
the notary was on this is at fault somehow.
I think. Well, again, I wonder if there's foul, like just a lot of foul play by the lady into trick. But yeah, as the notary, as the person signing it legally, saying like, "You guys are now married."
Right.
File this. Yeah, you probably that person's probably at fault.
But again, it comes down to how you have to get a marriage license notarized in the state of Texas too. Because I know for like a car notary in Ohio, you have to have the seller and the buyer both present, sign it in front of the notary, and the notary notifies it to make it official. In the state of Michigan, you don't need that. You only need the buyer to sign in front of the notary. So maybe in the state of Texas, as long as one party's present,
Right.
You can sign a marriage
Right, you can get it
certificate.
notarized.
That sounds like some Texas ass shit though. That sounds like some shit that Texas.
Let me look into it.
That sounds like some shit because I know. So, at least from
My marriages in Texas.
my marriage in Ohio, the
The ones in Texas we don't talk
Yeah,
about.
those are your exes.
the person signing was the person who did my ceremony,
Right,
and he was there as the witness,
right.
and so we both signed, and then we witnessed him sign, like he signed that.
Yeah.
And then we just filed that. That was our. Bloop, we were done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of people who don't sign it on the wedding day.
Texas law does not require a witness for a marriage ceremony.
What?
A marriage can be concluded by a licensed or ordained Christian minister or priest, a Jewish rabbi, current or retired judges, or somebody authorized by their religious organization to conduct a wedding. But you do not need a witness present to sign the marriage certificate. So they could have just went to someone like a friend who was
Right.
ordained and be like, "Hey,
Right.
we never got our marriage license signed. Can
Right.
you sign this?"
Wow. That's crazy. Texas needs to up their
Yeah,
laws because what
yeah.
the fuck?
I'm surprised this is the first time this has happened. If that's the case,
I wonder
Yeah.
if it isn't.
So
that's true.
This lady is being brought up on third-degree felony stalking.
I feel like there should be other charges.
Yeah,
Like,
but
this-
what?
Stalking's not a bad forgery, maybe, because
Maybe,
like
yeah.
this dude didn't agree to getting married.
Yeah, but
But he did before.
If there was only the bride and the ordained or like whoever the
Yeah.
ordained
Officiant?
person,
Yeah.
the officiant, if it was only their signatures and that's all they needed to submit it, then
Well, that's the thing. It said that you don't need a witness, so like someone who was at the wedding.
yeah, right.
So like that writes out that, but you'd still need both parties to sign
He
Right.
went with her to get the marriage license.
license, not the certificate though. The certificate's what signed them to make them married.
Okay,
So
so
his
he-
signature would need to be on the marriage certificate,
Okay.
is what I'm saying.
So,
So
but I'm saying,
So there had to be a
someone had to forge that signature.
Okay, okay.
If he had no idea of this, the certificate that said we are married, the one that's notarized that makes them legally married, had to have both the bride and groom's signature on it.
yeah, I wonder if there is. It's one of those things where like this article just doesn't.
Give you the meat and potatoes.
Yeah, right. Doesn't provide like the information that you're looking for because yeah, forgery is something that would definitely come up, and you would think that they know, and maybe they're just not releasing that information.
Right,
but
right.
then why aren't they releasing the information? Like,
Yeah, because then why would you release that she's been processed on stalking charges, but not the
Right.
other charges?
right.
When you'd think right off the bat that there had to be some other legal charge in regards to the document
I
itself.
just feel like forgery would come up at the very least in this article if that was.
I mean, she forged a legal document.
But
Right.
we don't. But it doesn't say that. We don't know that. We just know that she signed and
He wasn't aware of the marriage, so
Right, he
obviously
wasn't-
it had to have been forged.
So
But-
his name had to be on it, and if
But
he
I'm-
didn't know,
I'm saying like when they filed it, maybe
But
it just wasn't look like. Maybe if it was sealed and they just filed it, I don't know.
I don't know.
Because I feel like forgery would have to come up, right? That
Minimum,
right.
it's gotta be, and I definitely feel like whoever the officiant was, or the judge or clerk or whoever that made this official,
Yeah.
he needs to be charged too. I
Yeah,
think
right.
there definitely needs to be some kind of charge there, because that's crazy. Showing up and getting married by yourself, essentially, to someone who has no idea.
Dude, just getting that in the mail one day.
Right. Oh, I'm married now.
Oh, well, I guess I'm. Yeah, I wonder if because
Think he
they're-
claimed it on his taxes?
Probably, I would.
She probably did.
It's one of those things where like
You think you have to claim it on your taxes?
No, you
Like,
can
no,
file
no,
separately.
No, but like when tax time comes around, it says, "Have you been married or divorced in X amount of
yeah.
years?"
Yeah, you definitely can.
I have.
It was a crazy sitch. but
I've
I
been
did.
married, but
Yeah.
not divorced. But I'm not married anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if they have to go through the divorce process because they're legally married by the state, but then also like
I wonder
if there was foul play,
Right?
is
Can they
that
nullify it?
is that marriage even legitimate?
Ooh,
right.
yeah.
Like, can they just take that and put
Right.
it in the shredder and say, nope, doesn't count. This was illegal. And
yeah,
just kind of
it
get,
wasn't
like-
a lawful marriage.
Right, just get
so
the whole
therefore-
thing thrown out, essentially.
Yeah, you guys are no longer married in the eyes of the law. Sorry.
Right, right.
Have a great time. Bye.
The other question I had, it's legal binding when you get married. It's legal binding in whatever state you're in. If I go over to another state, are you still married? Like, if you two still, are you married if you go to another state?
Yeah.
Yes, but every state has different marriage laws.
Mm.
So I don't know how much this is a thing anymore.
I got to get remarried if I move to a different state.
Well, I don't know how much it's a thing anymore, but people used to go to different states to get married to someone else.
Oh.
Instead of getting a divorce from like their first wife or something, they would go, like if they live in Louisiana, they could go to Arkansas and get a
married.
different marriage. Yeah.
And then that would like nullify the first one, essentially?
It wouldn't nullify it, but in the state of Arkansas, you're married
Ah, I see.
to this person. Whereas if you were still in Louisiana, you can't get married twice.
Yeah, right.
So as long as no one knew in Arkansas that you were married, you can get married in Arkansas.
I feel like the
Interesting.
database is much deeper now.
Probably.
So it's that probably doesn't happen as often.
Right.
Right.
But there probably is still situations.
Well, what if you
like
go
that.
somewhere like Utah?
Yeah, polygamy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or Nevada?
Yeah.
Yeah. What if you go somewhere where you can get married more than once?
I have 50 different wives in all 50 different countries. We just got married in Utah.
I'm trying to look up grounds for annulment in a marriage instead of a divorce, because I feel like that's probably what would happen in this case, right?
Yeah.
It would illegally void the marriage.
Their marriage was never consummated.
The marriage is treated as if it never existed, and can have different legal and social implications on the divorce.
Yeah, so they're
Fraud.
probably getting an annulment.
One spouse misrepresenting facts about themselves or their intentions to induce the other to marry could be grounds for an annulment. So I think that's what would probably go on here. The state of Texas would probably say, you guys were never married. This never happened.
That's so interesting.
Brush it under the rug.
Yeah, that's so interesting that they can just pat their hands and make it go away.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Okay. So hey, look at this. Here's all the grounds for annulment, because this kind of goes into what we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Fraud, duress if one person is coerced or forced into a marriage, bigamy if one spouse is already married to someone else in or outside of the state, underage marriage, lack of mental capacity, or failure to consummate. These are all grounds for annulment.
A lack of mental capacity?
Yeah.
Failure to consummate. They just don't want you to poop.
No, it's consummate is
Ate
having
a
sex.
little too much cheese. Now I can't be married. What's
The
this all about?
fuck?
Jeez, man, they really need to fucking.
That's having sex. You're
Just having
supposed to do it after
supposed to
you get
poop.
married.
You're supposed to poop after you get married.
Failure to
flush yourself
constipate.
out.
Yeah, flush out with the old and with the
Yeah,
new.
yeah, to make room for new poop. Our poop.
the poop of our lineage.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
The
That's what
family
it's about.
poop.
The family air poop.
Our poop.
And that's when you get the family poop knife on your honeymoon.
Hey, it's a lot better to inherit than the family suicide revolver.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Well,
I'm getting married in Texas.
don't tell George straight.
He's my ex.
You think the plan for her was to go through with the divorce? Like, you think it was like, hey, I'm
Oh,
going
yeah.
to file this marriage, and then I'm gonna file for divorce, and I'm gonna take half your stuff.
We were already breaking up. Might
Yeah.
as well get
Yeah.
some shit out of it.
I think she got embarrassed and didn't want to tell her friends and family that they broke up and the wedding was off. And so she was like,
We got
married.
We got married really quick.
I think she's insane. I think
Yeah.
because she's still gonna pay
she's
for this.
I mean, no.
Either way,
Regardless, you're right. No matter what happened, you're correct about that. This lady's crazy. So
she's
good
probably like afraid of lightning strikes and shit. This lady's probably
probably-
insane.
She's probably been struck by lightning multiple times. 4 in the last 24 hours.
That's a hell of a gamble. Lightning. That's a hell of a gamble to play.
It is.
Spending money on a marriage that you know isn't legitimate.
Yeah.
There's gotta be a longer play here. It had to be something where she was gonna take it to court and get a divorce.
She really just wanted
Yeah.
to make him miserable.
I feel like probably either the plan was either A, she's crazy and, well, we're already married, so he can't do anything now.
We're married.
Or B, she's smart and was saying, well, we're going to break up, or I want to break up, whatever the case is. I'm at least going to get half of his stuff.
Right.
But I don't want to go through with the wedding. I don't want to have the pictures and
I
shit.
wonder if he had some really good stuff.
All this cool stuff in my house is now yours. Shit. That bitch took all my cool stuff in the divorce.
You know, they said the number one reason for divorce is cool stuff.
No more like wallpaper.
They
or,
took
like,
the wallpaper.
posters.
It still
They
sucks.
took the damn wallpaper.
Your mantle, your statues, all your cool Pokemon
All your
cards.
statues of Roman gods.
She took the house.
Yeah. Took the house.
I kept the house, took the wallpaper.
Took the dog.
It
Ripped him
still
down.
sucks that like he never had this wedding, didn't have the marriage, broke up before anything actually happened, and now he legitimately has an ex-wife.
This is worse than getting served divorce papers.
Getting served marriage
Getting
papers.
served your marriage
Sorry,
license.
you're married.
Sorry, you're married.
You're part of this now, dude. You're in it.
Because didn't we talked about serving divorce papers, right? You can apply to be the guy who delivers the divorce
Yeah.
papers.
Oh, no, I don't remember.
I think we talked about this years ago.
I mean,
it's a
it's
job.
possible.
It was
Possible.
me, you, and Shaggy.
Oh, usually it falls on the county sheriff. If your county has a sheriff, it's usually his job to serve the divorce papers. But
Uh-huh.
it doesn't have to be. You can apply, and anybody can serve divorce papers
Yeah,
because
just volunteer.
you are not. You have to be officially and legally served divorce papers. You have to
Hell
receive
yeah.
them
Hell
and
yeah.
have it known that it's been received, right? So you can apply to be the guy that serves divorce papers, which awesome job. I'd
Yeah.
love to do that. But imagine being the guy who has to serve the marriage license. You're married.
Sorry, dude.
That just
Congrats.
comes in the mail.
Yeah, that just came FedEx.
Yeah. Damn.
That's USPS,
Yeah,
buddy.
you don't even get a fucking like notice.
That is a long day. That is
Yeah,
a
what do you do?
long
What do you do when
fucking
you
day.
you just Saturday evening go out and get the mail? Spectrum bill, AT&T, marriage certificate.
to your
Crack
ex.
this one on this. This one
These-
doesn't look like junk mail.
these scammers are getting tricky now. I don't know how this one's gonna play out.
Yeah, would you think it was legitimate?
Well, it's one of those things where at first maybe, but then you open it and you see your ex's name.
Yeah, that's
and you're like, that bitch.
Yeah,
That's
That's
stone
what it is.
cold bitch.
what? That's exactly my thought process. I'd
Yeah.
pick it up and go, "Oh, this is some weird telemarketing scam.
Right, they're
Why
trying
do
to
they
get
have a
me.
marriage certificate with my
Right.
name?" But that's the dangerous part. What if you don't open it?
You
What
just
if it's
toss
just
it out?
yeah? What if it's just like San Antonio courthouse marriage certificate?
You're
You see
like,
the
"Oh,
little window.
bullshit."
Yeah, all right, pal. Now you're married.
That would be really funny.
That'd be really
That's-
unfortunate.
That sounds like the plot of like an early 2000s comedy
yeah,
movie.
100%.
Oops, I got married.
Like there's a seed early on the first 5 minutes that this dude just doesn't read his mail,
It's
Yeah.
and that's the thing that sets the whole movie in motion.
it's wait, comma, we're married? Question
Yeah.
mark.
Yeah.
That's the
There's a
movie.
dude, where's my car?
Yeah,
yeah.
basically.
Wait, we're married? Yeah. I think it's a good scheme by the lady.
Good little bit.
If she's trying to get half of his stuff.
Right.
And again, that's only very situationally if this situation that I made up in my brain is true.
Yeah.
It's half
But-
baked though. Like she wouldn't have ever been able to get half of his stuff because the marriage wasn't legit.
It
would
is half baked. That's true.
First thing I'm doing, if I'm opening the mail and there's a marriage certificate in there, texting someone, well, I'm married.
she hit like 4 out of 5 of the bullet points on ways to get annulled. So, like,
Yeah, I mean, and that's the other thing too. She just seems like a crazy person. Like, just based on this alone, it seems like she maybe is a little bit nuts.
Yeah, seems
Maybe.
Seems perfectly sane to me.
okay, sure.
Rock on,
Rock
Yeah.
on, man. It's Texas.
rock on, dude.
This
The
is-
Lone Star State.
This is how they do it in Tejas.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why there's so many X's down there.
Is
Marriage, rampant.
Is that where the Alamo lives?
That is.
Don't
Okay.
forget.
I
Don't
didn't.
you ever forget.
I didn't. I just didn't remember where he lived.
John Alamo
John Alamo.
Yeah.
I've never forgotten about him. Good guy.
from the Battle of Texas. John Alamo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I like this girl. I think
Yeah?
I think that
Why don't
she
you
is-
marry her? She's single.
No. She's already
single.
She's already sent me her marriage papers.
You think you
I already am married to
you think
her.
you get fake marriage papers sent to someone?
I hope so.
Like how you can send the fucking like fake
Like
bigdildo.com to someone.
like
you
a
think you,
prank phone call, but a prank marriage.
oops, we're married.
Gotcha.
Funny as shit.
It's a big diamond ring. Gotcha. Here's the ring.
Send them the ring via FedEx.
Me and you for the rest of our lives.
I think that's a good
Why'd
service.
you go Ty Pennington with that?
I'm doing my early 2000s voice.
Extreme marriage makeover.
Extreme marriage makeover. You
Sponsored
guys,
by Sears.
you guys are now married.
The Sears wedding department's going crazy on this one, dude.
Yeah, I think we should just all get married and then get divorced and take half of each other's stuff and then get married again.
It's kind of like sharing
to
a
the other
propane
person
tank.
and
Yeah.
take half of the stuff that they got.
We all get each other's stuff.
It's
Yeah.
like sharing a propane tank.
Okay.
We've all agreed to it. Everyone just trusts the system of giving a propane tank to get a propane tank. You're taking someone else's.
That's true.
How often do you get a new propane tank? Not often.
This one's you go to the hardware store. They give you a new one or the gas station. Here, this one's crisp.
brand new off
never,
the shelf.
Never been used. That's fresh
Make
propane.
sure you give it to someone else when you're done. We'll give you someone else's crusty propane tank.
It's like the Aldi dollar or
Two-
Aldi quarter.
216-859-8699 if you want to get married.
WSRR.
Today's mission. Take a picture of your friend's phone on the counter, and then after they leave, text them the picture saying they forgot it.
Staring at my phone, waiting for something to change. No new messages, just your name. I can't bring myself to delete it. I like the way you laughed in the car when everything felt like it mattered. Before I knew we were breaking, now I'm driving past the places we thought we'd always come back to. Now it doesn't matter. You're still everywhere I drive, but I can't find you in anything anymore. I thought about texting you last night, but I knew I'd just delete it. Still in your hoodie from last year. You threw away the gifts I bought you. I guess they weren't good enough. And the fear of being nothing is starting to feel like home again. How can you look at ceiling and pretend we weren't more than friends? You said our kids would fix what we broke, but I couldn't fix myself, I never could. I can't even keep your plants alive. Can't remember the last time I ate without it hurting. Still can't let go of yesterday. I keep thinking I'll find you again, but you're nowhere I can believe in. You said you wanted our kids to have my eyes. I think that's odd, shouldn't you be honest? I'm not obsessing, I just don't care for your games. pretend I'm not the man who loved you. I'm not up late thinking about you. I think it's the other way around. Dead roses are more beautiful than the pain you put me through. I don't know why you're overreacting again. I don't care about the salon you work at, and I don't want to get undressed for you to break my heart again. Is it good enough? The lifestyle you're living in. Don't you have a roster of guys who are more than friends? Shouldn't you give that up? But somehow here I am, still holding on to something that left me. Back to the beginning I go. I felt betrayed. Could I care to show? I don't know why you're overreacting. Again, I don't care about the salon you work at, and I don't want to get undressed for you to break my heart again. Is it good enough? The lifestyle you're living in. Don't you have a roster of guys who are more than friends? Shouldn't you give that up? But somehow here I am, still holding on to something that left me. Back to the beginning I go. I felt betrayed. Could I care to show?
Welcome back to the Rebel Radio Show.
You Uba Tuba son of a bitch.
Uba tuba piece of shit. You're a stinky rope.
Clip that.
Hey, welcome back to the Rebel Radio Show. We're live, uncut, and uncensored on WSRR Radio, free from corporate advertisement. And in order to get that going and help offset the cost, on July 26th, we'll be having the WSRR Rebel-thon, 12 straight hours of live radio shows, guest music, and more from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Join the entire WSRR crew on air all day long as we raise funds via Venmo to offset the new radio broadcast licensing costs. If you want to text into the show, 216-859-8699. We're live today on this Monday evening. To my right, Shani.
Hey, everyone.
On the board is Jules.
Howdy.
I'm radio's Rebel DJ Style, and I was just thinking before we came back, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
You know how you can, like, laundromats are a good example.
Mm-hmm.
People will buy laundromats and, like, make a shit ton of money just from, like, coin-operated laundry.
Passive income like
Right,
that.
passive income. So, like, owning a vending machine outside of somewhere. Can you imagine being the guy that owns the well?
Oh, my gosh.
Not only do you get passive income, but you control whose wishes get
You
granted.
get to grant the wish.
Yeah.
You say, yeah, I like that wish. Go
Yeah,
for it.
right.
Other wishes come by. You say,
Pocket them. Pocket those wishes for yourself.
Yeah, see, that's
Yeah.
my wish, actually.
Yeah.
I want that
And
wish.
guess what? The guy who owns the well gets to shovel the dimes.
Ah!
Yeah, dude.
I changed my mind. Serving divorce papers isn't my dream job. Being the well owner is.
the well operator.
The wellman.
I'm the wellman.
I'm the dime shoveling wish granting wellman. A tale as old as time here
Oh,
on WSRR The Star.
Yeah, I like serving wishes.
That'd be my wish. Some people's wishes are a little more lame.
Your
like-
first wish in the well, make me the wellman.
I want this well. I'm taking it today.
That's like your first wish from a genie being like, I want to become the genie in the bottle.
Who would ever wish that?
That would be a
shit?
crazy play.
Why would you ever wish that?
That might be a 4D chess play because then the magic whatever flies to a new location so you can't find me. And what if I just say, I'm not coming out. I'm not doing the wishes.
You think that's an option?
I'm the
I
genie.
think that's part of the contract. Is when you're the genie, you have to come out when your lamp
not
gets
if you-
rubbed.
Not
and you
if-
have to grant the 3 wishes.
Not if your first wish is, I wish to become the genie, but with no strings attached. And then the genie's like, what the? You could wish that? And then he poofs into nothing.
He's gone
He
forever.
poofs, he poofs into a human form, and you are now a sentient genie that has no bounds.
I just want you to know that this entire time you've been talking about genies, I've been thinking about Norm, the time he was the genie on Fairly Odd Parents. That's the genie I have in mind.
I always think of Norm as
Just
the
in
genie,
general.
as not as the genie,
As the Wellman,
as the Wellman.
eating with his family in Disney. I'm always thinking about Norm.
Listen, if you're eating with your family in Disney,
Yeah.
don't be surprised when it's expensive, all right? That's what the Macho Man says. All right?
Classic Randy Savage in Disney parks. Classic lore.
There was a Disneyland guest who, quote, almost spit out his coffee over a nearly $1,000 breakfast bill for a family of 5.
Who wrote this article? People? Yeah, that's a People fucking headline. I almost
People.
spit out my coffee when I saw that. What fucking
I mean,
year do you think this is?
He probably did say that.
And listen,
Hopefully. I don't know.
I hope he did. I hope he spit it out on Mickey's stupid fucking head.
Yeah.
This title of this article is very grabby because it wasn't just a breakfast with his family.
Yeah, right. Right.
It was a Disney princess breakfast experience.
Right.
Yeah, so this guy is mad that he spent almost $1,000 on breakfast. That's his claim.
$938 to
Yeah.
be exact.
His claim is he's mad because he spent that much money on breakfast.
Mhm.
But he paid for a breakfast experience with Disney princesses.
A 3-course character dining experience. So,
but he didn't go to fucking Wendy's and get a breakfast burrito.
How
I'm getting
often-
mad.
How often have you guys had a 3-course breakfast?
Only 3 times.
Yeah, that seems like I don't need to eat lunch. Maybe not even dinner.
I'm not eating for the rest of the day.
Right. 3-course breakfast? Jeez.
Maybe it's a weird thing. I'm one of those people where I can't eat right away when I get up.
Yeah.
Like I normally skip breakfast most days because like I just am not. I can't eat as soon as I get up, even if I'm up at like 6 a.m. And I'm
Sometimes
going
I
somewhere.
can, sometimes I can't. It just
Okay.
depends. Like it very much depends on. I don't even know because like I
It's
have
too
the,
early.
I have the opportunity to eat breakfast at my job pretty much every day. And
Yeah.
like they make breakfast in those cafeterias, but some days I don't want it, and then some days I'm like, actually, I am hungry. But it's more often now that I've been waking up earlier, more consistently, that I've noticed that I am hungry. So I think it does
Really?
have something. I think it does have something to do with like if you wake up at 6 a.m. every day or 5 a.m. every day, you're gonna be hungry by 7 or 8, and then that's breakfast, right?
I guess.
Okay.
I've found that no matter what time I wake up, I'm usually not hungry for the first 4 or 5 hours I'm up.
Yeah, right. And I think I'm kind of that same way, but I think just with my schedule, I wake up so early so that
But I don't think I'd ever wake up and go, man, I could go for 3 courses.
no.
Even at dinner, I don't think I've ever went to dinner. I could not eat all day. I could be working outside in the hot sun all day and not have eaten all day and go, man, I'm starving for dinner. I could eat 3 courses. I don't think I've ever sat down and went, I need 3-course meal.
And so this is where I was a little bit confused.
For the family, nonetheless, not just him.
Well, that's like the 3-course thing specifically, because I've been to a Disney breakfast. All right, friends.
Fuck, all right, you're
All
the
right,
authority.
folks.
I'll just leave.
I've been to a Disney breakfast. I've gotten my picture taken with Winnie the Poop, and I had to
No,
pay for
you
my.
got. Hey, listen. First of all, clarification's sake, you got your picture taken with Disney IP Winnie the Poop, not the real Winnie the Poop who
The
goes and
murderer.
slaughters people.
The murderer.
Yeah,
Yes, that's
so-
very true. But it was like a buffet, and so it was like buffet style breakfast. Like you just went up and made a plate, and so I'm kind of curious. And it wasn't nearly as expensive as. And again, I don't know.
That wasn't the Disney experience.
Yeah, I
though.
don't know how much per this was, like per person.
Right.
Because adult prices and kids prices are different. Like that's still
Sure.
a thing that they do in Disney. It's not much difference, but there is a difference.
Right.
And so I would imagine like this is probably $100 and something, probably more than $100 per ticket,
Yeah.
like per person.
Per person.
If I had to guess, because
Somewhere
$1,000
around 150 a person.
$1,000 for 5 people, or essentially a little south of $500 or $1,000 for 5 people, 2 of them being adults, 3 of them being kids.
Right. You're looking at a little under $200 a person.
Right,
So about
200
150, 175 a person.
Right. It's just like why were you shocked?
Exactly.
Why were you shocked? That's I think like the first half of my argument is like why are you shocked, and then I think the other bigger discussion is like shit's expensive, right? And it's one of those things where like you should know that Disney's expensive. Everything
Yeah.
is expensive in
Yeah.
general, and general people you would hope have a general understanding of like inflation and things getting more expensive, and that's just how things go. That's how the economy moves. But like everyone should understand that Disney World or Disneyland is going to be 2 or 3 times more
Right.
expensive just on like a bottle of water.
Right.
You
They
know?
literally say the like average American family should spend a year planning their Disney trip before they go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because of how expensive it is.
Yeah.
This is the equivalent of me coming into the studio and saying, I just bought a new car yesterday. I can't believe they made me pay $60,000 for a new car
Yeah.
yesterday.
Right.
I could have bought a cheaper car.
Right.
Could have bought a $5,000 car.
Right.
But I didn't. I went and bought a fucking 2024 Toyota Corolla, right?
2025.
Well, that's way more expensive.
It just seems like this this
expensive.
father is like very behind on the times.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like
He put himself in a stupid scenario
He
and then
brought-
expects people to feel bad about it.
He brought his 3 little girls to a Disney princess breakfast and was like, "Wow, that was expensive."
Well, okay.
Of course it was.
And so the little blurb under the headline specifically says, the father shared a pricey receipt and his surprise on X, where the post went viral and over 15 million views, sparked widespread discussion. I think that's also part of like how are you smart enough to know how Twitter works, but not like
Rational enough.
rational worldly understanding enough to realize that Disney World for 5 people is going to be $1,000.
Yeah,
At
regardless.
least
Yeah.
$1,000.
And again, you're paying not for breakfast. You're paying for an attraction.
Yeah, you can get normal breakfast in Disney World and spend maybe $100 on
Right,
5 people.
right.
You know? Or like whatever, $70
Sure.
on 5 people,
Sure.
something
Yeah.
like that.
Fucking order room service to your room and it's cheaper than this.
Right. Like
You
should've-
chose an attraction, a
Right.
3-course meal
It's an
with
attraction.
fucking with Disney IPs, assumingly around or serving or sitting or something in
Yeah,
that room.
Communicating.
Right.
Bouncing
You
from
are
table to
paying
table.
for an experience. This is
Right.
just like a ride
Yep.
at that point. This is an add-on that you are paying for.
There are lines like outside of these restaurants,
Yeah.
like as if it were an attraction, because
It- 'cause it
you're
is.
paying for an attraction. This
It's
is an
like
attraction.
if he took all 3 of his daughters to the princess makeover part in Disney, and it was surprised of it being like $15,000.
Yeah, right. No,
It's like, you know, you're going to Disney. You know, Disney in general is expensive. Theme parks in general are expensive. Disney is the mecca.
and I bet he
Right.
didn't even try to bargain.
part of me wonders.
Catch
that-
me paying sticker price for a Disney breakfast. You won't.
I'll haggle.
I'll haggle him. I'll talk him down.
I can haggle him.
I can get him down to at least $800 out the
Come
door.
on,
Tax
come
title out
on.
the door, $800.
I'm a good guy. Come on, I seem nice.
Come on, I have the Mickey Mouse watch on. we can do some business.
Yeah, it's just like I wonder if this is like a bait.
It has to be, right?
100%.
Because this guy, again, there's no way that you are like understanding enough to know how to use X in such a capacity where you're posting your receipt and saying this is ridiculous, but you're not understanding enough to realize that Disney is going to, like, no duh, dipshit, Disney is going to be
Literally.
expensive.
I think the scarier part is all the people that fucking fell for the bait.
Yeah, probably.
Because
right.
it took us, 2 minutes to go look at this and go, well, why the fuck did you buy an experience and are complaining about the price of
Right.
breakfast when you didn't pay for breakfast? You paid for this.
Well,
How
that's
many people
the-
looked at this on X and went, that's how much breakfast is at Disney? That's crazy!
Yeah.
And
guaranteed.
reposted it.
It's sensationalizing. It's sensational. It's very like, ooh, whoa, $1,000 for 5 people. I think like the number
Right.
being so whole of like 1K for 5 people. It's like, well, that math doesn't add up.
I know this is kind of a tangent. We've talked about this a little bit before. 3-course meal. I'm still not over that. Any meal, dinner, breakfast, lunch, I can't get over a 3. And I know there's like, in other cultures, that's a thing. You spend a day at a restaurant eating
Yeah.
meals. I couldn't do that.
I'm a snack person.
I would be very interested to go to like one of the, like, just for the experience of one of those like high class fine dining 12-course meal, like
Don't
one
be
of those.
surprised at the price when
No,
you get that experience.
well, yeah, like that's it would be like a one and done just to
Yeah.
understand it, sort of thing, because it does seem interesting that it's all like 12 courses and they're all, you know,
Right.
half-inch worth of food, like
Right.
barely
Yeah.
any. I wonder how that works out, or like if it is an enjoyable experience. Right now, I'm trying all of the fancy pizza places around me
Yeah.
to see which ones, and I'm like, okay, I'm willing to pay for it because
Is
I
there
want.
fancy pizza.
I mean, there's like more expensive brick oven, stone fire pizza that has nice ingredients, and there's fancier pizza.
Dough sauce and cheese.
I see. I understand where you're coming from, but I disagree strongly. But I'm trying all the fancier pizza
Yeah.
places in my area, and it's like it's that same thing of like, I would try it just for the experience. We eat food all the time, so if you can switch it up a little bit, I'd be interested to see what it's about. But
Yeah.
other than that, I'm kind of on the side of
Here's
cheaper is better.
where I think about it when it comes to like the 12-course all day fucking like restaurant thing, right? Here's what I think about. I'm not going to eat all day, probably the day before, because I want to make sure I can handle 12 courses of food.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like you said, it is small little courses that are spaced out over time. So I'm going to get there and I'm going to be hungry, and they're going to give me 3 little pieces of beef on a plate, and I'm going to go, I'm ready for fucking plate number 2. Let's go. Keep bringing them out. I'm
Right.
still hungry.
Right.
I'm worried I would spend $1,200 for one fucking experience and still be hungry.
To be like rushed or to try to like rush
Yeah,
it along.
yeah.
We got a message that says 2 of our listeners went to the Marble Room in Cleveland on Saturday, and their bill was $350 for 2 people.
That's not bad for like a nice dinner,
For a
though.
decent,
yeah.
like-
Yeah, I'm very okay.
For 2 people, that's fine.
I'm very okay with going on like a date and
Yeah.
spending like a couple $100s on a dinner or something like that if it's well worth it.
Right,
Yeah.
If it's,
right.
if it's cool and it's like, even if the ambiance or whatever, like
The restaurant itself looks cool.
right,
Yeah.
right. I'm okay with that. That's it's all part of the night, right? And that's why I think I would, because it'd be something where like there would be a group of people waiting outside of the restaurant or something for these big dining experiences. You know, it'd be like an event.
Yeah.
It'd be like going to a concert or something like
Sure.
that. In that
You get
same
an opener.
in that same vein of like that excitement and that nervousness, you know?
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I don't know. If you want to take me to a nice 12-course restaurant, 216-859-8699.
So, your friends invited you to their annual Super Bowl party, but you can't remember if that's the sport that's played with the sticks or with the bat. No fear, just break out your trusty sporting event shirt from GenericClothes.com. But what's that you say? It's election season and your family has color-coded their entire personality again? Go ahead and play your part as the one true middleman by wearing your ambiguous political statement t-shirt. Yes, for all of your unwanted social interactions, geopolitical statements, or ideologies about the fashion industry in general, GenericClothes.com has you covered. Once again, that's GenericClothes.com.
Hello. My name is Shane E. I'm bursting through your airwaves today because I wanted to tell you how I'm bursting out of my pants with my hand on my Johnson. I love to rub it, and when I touch it, it is the best. Make sure that you always rub your Johnson. All right. Goodbye.
Hello and good afternoon, WSRR radio listeners. This is Pastor Kurt Presley, and I just want to address some things that have been said on this station and really the temptations. And that, of course, we're talking about masturbation. Never is it okay for you to grab your willy and make it silly. Never in your life should you not do that with your wife. Just a reminder from Pastor Kurt Presley not to touch yourself or anybody else God bless.
Hi, this is Melissa.
And hey, it's Matt.
Hi guys, my name is Ari. Coming at you from Synergy Music Studio. Come through to a Synergy Naked session.
Synergy Naked is a live performance recording, also captured on video. Look for our releases on YouTube at Synergy Music Studio.
We're located on the south side near Chicago.
Passing through? Hit up our DMs on Instagram at Synergy Music Studio. Rock hard.
Are you ready, kids? It's me, distinctively non-copyright unspecified Sponge Man, and you're listening to the Rebel Radio Show on WSRR. Make the switch.
Let me tell you about SynergyMusicStudio.com.
Oh, yeah.
Let me talk to you.
If you need recording, mixing, mastering, production work, demo work, session work, or more, Synergy Music Studio is your one-stop destination for all of it. Even if you're not in the Chicago area, you can take advantage of their reamping service to get the exact tone and sound quality you're looking for your next release. Get an album, single, or radio ready with SynergyMusicStudio.com. Proud supporters of WSRR Radio and independent and local music. Tell me what's going on in China.
They're suing the Red Pandas.
What?
Yeah.
Again?
I know. It's happening again. They're exiling all of them from a specific Chinese hotel that has recently come under fire for a wake-up service that provided a Chinese red panda as your complimentary wake up. Not complimentary. I think you'd have.
No, I'm pretty sure you have to.
Yeah.
You have to pay more to be woken up by a red panda. That's crazy.
I paid what for this panda service? I thought it was free.
The Red Panda wake up service is so expensive.
But yeah, there's a hotel in China that was waking people up with red pandas at their request, and the Chinese government stepped in and said, "Yo, you can't do this."
Aren't red pandas endangered?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Aren't red pandas also not pandas?
I know
Yeah.
that. I know that
They're like foxes.
Pandas, OG pandas, were endangered.
Panda OG.
Panda OGs,
Yeah.
were endangered. I don't think they are anymore. But
How long does something have to be endangered before it's not? I feel like there's animals that have been endangered our whole lives.
I think once there's
Red pandas are currently listed on the endangered species
Knew
list.
it. Told you. I've been hunting them.
I have so many red panda pelts. Unbelievable. I would do it.
I got ivory too. Hunt a red panda?
No.
Oh. What would you do?
I'd get woken up by a red panda.
Would you?
I think I
I
would.
feel like I'd freak out. Even if I knew. Even if I placed the call and was like, hey, wake me up in the morning with a red panda. I feel like I'd freak out being woken up by a small animal on top of me.
If I
Well, I mean, they're generally not aggressive animals.
yeah, they
so.
seem so tiny.
They are when I freak out.
They are. They seem so tiny.
They're defensively aggressive. They won't
Me too.
scratch or bite you.
That makes two of us.
Literally, when
I will
they
throw it across the fucking room if I get scared on the wake up.
when they're in a defensive stance, they're just like standing on their back paws with their hands up.
Me too.
They're kind of like raccoons.
Yeah,
I
basically.
think they are raccoons.
I would do it still.
I would get woken up by a red panda, but I guess I'm not allowed.
Yeah.
What? Why would you have an endangered species as a fucking
Yeah.
marketing ploy? Like, this is asking for a lawsuit.
Yeah, I guess.
Like, this is worse than SeaWorld.
Yeah, it seems like maybe it probably wasn't the best idea to have an endangered species come in and be the one
Yeah.
knocking on your door, you know?
Yeah.
How well are they kept when they're not waking up?
Exactly.
Guests.
Where are they kept when they're not waking up guests?
They have their own room.
Yeah. Is it just one red panda?
I don't know.
Or do they have a fleet?
I'm assuming they have a fleet. It says here, despite the popularity of the service, the Zhongjin Forestry Bureau has reportedly asked the hotel to immediately cease all close contact activities between the pandas and the visitors. It doesn't say why.
It doesn't say they have to get rid of
Because
them.
they're
though.
endangered.
Maybe
It
And
did-
also,
they'd been borrowed from a zoo.
Oh, Excuse me, you can do that?
Hey,
I didn't know you could borrow
we're
animals.
just gonna borrow a couple of these elephants really
Oh,
quick.
fuck, all right. Listen, we need to get in contact with
I
the
have,
local zoo.
I have a hotel that I have a wake up service,
I
elephant
got this
wake
little
up.
radio station I've been
Yeah.
running. You mind if I borrow a couple elephants and their tusks?
I want to borrow some zebras. Let's go.
What are zebras? We talked about this last week. What are
Yeah.
zebras? Because they're not.
No, we didn't talk about this last week.
What are zebras?
Zebras.
What are they?
You mean zebras?
Even if you're Canadian, what are they?
They're horses, donkeys.
They're just horses, right? They're small horses.
No, I think they're in the donkey mule family.
There's a lot of like donkey, mule, horse-looking things that are like not horses, but are like
Zebras are basically
horses.
just horses, though.
Seals.
I don't think
What?
I don't think seals are horses.
Excuse me?
I think you're thinking of Kiss from a Rose.
No, seals. Seal. Those are horses.
Pretty much. I mean, what isn't, right?
A Great
Who am I to
Dane.
say?
A Great Dane's
I've
a horse.
ridden a seal.
Excuse
I
me?
know. I've been there. I've been to SeaWorld. I know why you're not allowed back at SeaWorld, too.
I'm just saying.
You really took advantage of the whole splash zone clause. And I'm going to be honest, there's a lot of families that didn't appreciate that. They said, we paid for this?
I was there to make a big splash, and the seal
Well,
was
you
there to
did.
help.
You certainly did.
Yeah,
You
I know.
certainly did. And you never will again. And you're going to have to deal with that. And you're going to have to think about what you've done for the rest of your life.
I get. It says that, yeah, because they're a protected species, that they cannot be
Right.
around tourism.
I don't think I'd like a wake-up call. I've never used a wake-up call service in a hotel.
Neither have I.
I don't see the appeal to that. I don't want that.
That used to be a thing.
Well,
like-
because people didn't have phones.
Well, I'm saying that used to be a thing, like, in the 90s, just at your house.
Yeah.
You could just get a call in the morning. Good morning, sir.
I bet you still could.
Probably.
There probably is still wake-up services.
You think someone's paying for that now?
You think you could pay and put someone else's phone number? Good morning, sir. Who are you?
I know what I'm looking into tonight.
Who are you?
Jeeves keeps calling you at 3 a.m.
You just keep paying for the service.
But that's not. It's so like you can block a number now. It's way too accessible to not.
I guess you can block
Every
the number.
aspect of a wake up call is fraudulent now. Every aspect of it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can block the number. Who's picking up anymore?
Yeah,
Who
right.
picks up random numbers anymore?
Unknown number, unknown
Right.
caller.
Right.
Not answering that.
Not answering
There's
it.
also,
you
like-
get you get a call from wakeupcall.net as your
Yeah.
caller ID. Yeah, I'm not answering that.
And most iPhones have it like preset to not answer any calls that
right.
they don't already have as a contact.
Yeah.
So
I don't think it would work.
I don't think it would.
Plus, you have an alarm clock. You have a phone. You have
Yeah, yeah.
I can get up. I don't
just-
like to, but I can.
It must have felt cool as fuck at the time, though. Like being in the 90s, you get a wake up call. Good morning, sir, and you're like, oh, good morning. What's up? Start my day.
You have a conversation with them.
They're like, okay, goodbye.
What are you doing?
Yeah, so what are you doing today? I'd like that. That just feels cool as fuck.
Next time you go to a hotel, ask for a wake up call. I wonder if they do it anymore. I wonder if a lot of hotels will even bother with a wake up
I
call.
bet that you could ask. I bet that it's not something that they list as like a
it's
service.
not something they've done for 20 years.
Yeah, but I bet if you ask, they would
Oh,
be
yeah.
like, yeah, sure,
Yeah.
we can do that.
hey, can you call my room at 9 a.m.?
You go to
Yeah,
the
right.
Holiday Inn and you're like, can you give me a wake up call at 9? And
bet
they would look at you and go, I guess.
You want me to call your cell?
Like, yo, what's your number?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They wouldn't even call your room. They'd call your cell phone probably.
your number?
They'd call whatever number was on file.
That's so funny.
They'd probably just write it on a post-it note for the morning.
Hey, call this
people.
number, yeah.
Yeah, call this
9
number
a.m.
at 9 a.m., please.
And someone would look at that, whoever the morning person would look at and go, okay, I guess, and not know it's a wake up
Yeah,
call.
be
but
like,
9:04 call.
Hey, I'm supposed to call? You're like, hello.
What? What do you want?
Yeah, yeah.
It's 10 o'clock. They've been swamped with people checking in, and they're like, shit.
I've had so many wake-up calls.
But, okay, so here's my question. Even in like the 80s, right? Alarm clocks were still a thing in hotels. Was it really just the thing of you wanted someone to call you to wake you up?
Well, yeah, I think it was like a status thing. Because, again, it in the 90s and, like, I think maybe the 80s, too, you could just have a wake-up call service call to your house. Because house phones were a thing.
Still are.
Yeah, I
Believe
mean,
it or not.
Still are. But, like, that was probably just, like, a cool dude shit, you know? Like, cool person shit.
I don't think that would impress anyone.
I don't know.
Like, okay, so if you have a house phone today, right?
If I had a house phone today.
And you have a buddy staying over,
Uh-huh.
9 a.m. the phone rings. It's, oh, that's just my wake-up call. They would think you're insane.
No, I'm saying like if I gotta wake up for work at 6 a.m. and I get a wake up call that's like, "Good morning, sir. This is today's date. Enjoy your day," and then like click. I feel like I'd enjoy that.
I think I'm going to reach out to this website called wakeupdialer.com that schedules free wake-up calls. You can also do a wake-up text request. You just put in your phone number and the time you want to call and schedule a call. That's all it is.
We got a text.
I'm going to start putting other people's numbers in there. 216-859-8699 if you want me to give you a wake-up call.
We got a text to schedule a wake-up call and then yell at him for being rude and calling and waking you up.
Yeah, yell at the wake-up call person. What the fuck?
Why would you wake me up?
Yeah.
You think there's hotels that stop doing wake-up calls because of that?
Probably.
I don't think that the wake-up calls were like... I mean, I would bet if there were hotels that did mandatory wake-up calls, they were like...
The Army ones.
Yeah.
The Army hotels.
Like,
when they would manually wake you up in boot camp.
Yeah, wake up at 9 a.m. or something like that. Wake-up call at 9 a.m. at every cell phone. Or every
cell phone.
Every, room phone. They probably stopped that. There were probably hotels that did that, and probably hotels that stopped doing that.
I'm curious how many hotels would. I think you're right. I think like you could convince them to, but I don't think it's something like they're going to be like, okay, sure, yeah, absolutely, I'll write it down.
No, I
think they'd be confused.
I don't think that it would. No, I don't think that it would take convincing, and I don't think that they would call your cell phone.
yeah.
I think that they would call your room phone, and I think that old people probably still ask to this day.
You
for
still have to
wake-up
find a
calls.
hotel with a room phone.
They all do.
They all do.
I don't think so. I've stayed in
Yeah.
hotels without phones now.
I think
Because
they
everyone
all
has
do.
a phone.
Every hotel that I've been in
Yeah, I
has
don't
a
think-
cell phone. I've
Listen,
never seen a hotel without a cell phone.
We're going to talk about cable here in a little bit too. But I miss the fucking get into a hotel and just have a pamphlet of numbers to call and the hotel phone.
Mhm.
And
You know
that's
what I
it. That's
miss?
what you got for the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I miss? I miss being woken up by my red panda every morning.
I miss a great night stay in a Best Western Hotel.
Oh.
Not sponsored by Best Western Hotel,
But
but
we'd
we'd
like
like
to
to
be.
be. Can you imagine we were sponsored by a fucking hotel service?
They just set us up whenever we want.
Get wake-up calls whenever we want.
We
Dude.
saw a Best Western Plus, and he said even better night's sleep.
That's kind of it's crazy to think that like there are artists who get essentially sponsored by a hotel and then just live in it in Las
Yeah.
Vegas.
Yeah.
Like that's a real thing.
A lot of them
Yeah,
in the
they-
same hotel.
Yeah, they just get booked up by a hotel and then they're like, "Well, I live here."
This is my house now.
Yeah.
216-859-8699. Let me know if they're basically squatters.
Hey, Style here, and I want to take a minute to talk to you about Hellbender Vinyl, a proud supporter of local and independent music and a proud supporter of WSRR Radio. Hellbender Vinyl is one of America's most trusted custom vinyl pressing plants. Located in Upper Lawrenceville on Butler Street, Hellbender is Pittsburgh's first and only vinyl record pressing plant and is here to help local bands and artists get their albums onto vinyl. Hellbender Vinyl offers vinyl record pressings to ensure that albums don't just end up as a bunch of ones and zeros floating around somewhere on the internet. So, if you're interested in giving your album a physical release, you can visit hellbendervinyl.com to start the conversation today. Plus, every customer at Hellbender Vinyl receives 5 free test presses to review at no additional cost. Hellbent on quality, hellbent on service, hellbendervinyl.com.
From the city that never sleeps and the people who never eat, this is Noir Dash.
You think I'd be lying if I told you it was a calm night? Well, it was. Tuesday. Slower than usual. Suspicious. I was on my way to pick up some smokes when I heard something. A buzzing sound near my legs. I answered, smirked. It's about time, I told her in the passenger seat. She told me that it was all right, that it can wait. She replied with that beautiful smile. Smile that will make a man crash a car. He'll never forget it. So we veered off course and parked my car under the dim blue light. Zaxby's, I said to myself. Never would have guessed in a place like this. Wait here, Toots. I'll be back. As I walked into the joint, I was greeted by the dealer. Odd-looking duck. I told him the name of the order and grabbed the food. I didn't want to leave my darling waiting too long. So we raced off into the destination. By a 10-minute drive, halted by a turn into the complex. Almost took me by surprise to see that the order was on the 3rd floor. But a man's gotta live, I told myself. So I donned my hat, left the car, and dropped the order off right at the door. Textbook. I did some final touch-ups on my phone, and away I went, into the night, with the woman of my dreams.
Hi, this is Melissa,
And hey, it's Matt.
coming at you from Synergy Music Studio.
We are a recording and production studio located on the south side near Chicago.
Check us out online at synergymusicstudio.com. We offer recording, mixing, and mastering.
And follow us on Instagram at Synergy Music Studio. Rock hard.
You're listening to the Rebel Radio Show, legal in 47 states.
Shane, what does your shirt say? It's in Japanese.
Super Mario World. Woo!
It's nice, but I bet it was also expensive.
It was $1 million.
I don't doubt it. Clothing prices today are kind of outrageous. That's why I do my shopping at genericclothes.com. You get straight into the point, you skip the big brand clothing companies and the corporate costs, and you have a laugh at their expense in the process with shirts that things like shirt, sports teams, local radio station, and more. So it makes the perfect gift for any occasion as well. So go to genericclothes.com today to get started and have a laugh at their expense, because nobody cares about the details. Get to the point with genericclothes.com. Nobody cares about streaming. Get back to cable with Netflix coming this summer? Next summer?
Next summer. So next summer, Netflix will start showing traditional broadcast channels. In a move that further intensifies the reflection of the cable business it's slowly killing, Netflix will start showing broadcast channels next summer. The world's largest streaming platform announced today that starting next summer, all Netflix subscribers in France will also be able to watch broadcast channels from TF1 Group, France's biggest commercial broadcaster, which also owns streaming services and creates content. The Financial Times reported that users will be able to watch all the TF1 linear channels.
So is this only a French thing for right now?
It seems like for right now. Netflix's French customers will also gain access to more than 30,000 hours of on-demand TF1 content in the summer of 26. TF1's content selection includes scripted dramas, reality shows like The Voice, and live sports. Before this announcement, Netflix and TF1 were already creative partners, according to Netflix, and co-produced titles. It was like a French historical miniseries. The company didn't disclose financial details on the deal.
How many years ago did we talk about cable basically making its way back at this point?
Probably like 2 or 3.
2 or 3?
Something like that.
We've seen that we're at the full gambit. The full cycle has been made.
Mm-hmm.
We're here. We're all the way around. 360 around the sun.
The snake has eaten its tail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're back. Cable's back, baby. We're so back.
This probably won't come to fruition in the United States because USA Netflix does not do the best.
I don't know, man.
Everywhere else, Netflix has like live shows. Like we have Raw and a couple of other things.
All you need is Raw, really.
Well, now they're probably going to advertise it like France just has more live shows.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because it's not like they're losing. It's not like France is losing, the movie catalog or anything like that. It's still going to be Netflix. They're just also going to have channels 6 through 30. Or whatever,
right.
They're going to have a couple normal channels on there. And I feel like that is something that will... Like, I know I always bring it up when we talk about this sort of thing, but I think about YouTube TV.
Yeah.
And, like, how it's literally just cable that you can pick it... Like, cable with TiVo, essentially.
Yeah.
Where you can pick what you want, record it, and then... It's like a cable with DVR
pre-installed. And I think we agreed. We peaked. That's where we peaked.
Yeah.
We had cable, and you could pick what you wanted to watch when you wanted to watch it, and just watch it backward. And skip the commercials. Now you can't even skip the commercials.
Yeah.
We've come too far into the process.
Yeah, they gave commercials back.
Yeah.
They said, actually, we're going to do... You wanted less commercials, and you paid for less commercials? We're going to give you more now.
Ready for TV history with style? Here we
Ready.
go. TV history with style. TV comes out, right? It's only broadcast typically 10 hours a day, sometimes maybe 12 on 3 channels. You get 3, 5, and 8. You get 3 channels of TV in black and white that broadcast 10 hours a day. They go, oh, maybe we could do this 24 hours a day if we really have content to fill. We get the debut of the 24-hour news cycle, because all you're really watching is news and live updates and public access at that time. We skip a little forward in the future. You get more channels. You get basic antenna TV, we'll call it, for lack of a better term, and then basic cable. And then because of that, you have to offset the cost. So how do you offset the cost? Well, we can't advertise. That would be immoral and illegal to advertise on this product that you're already paying for. So we have in-show sponsorships. That's where you get things like Mayberry uses better butter, buy it here. Aunt B uses better butter, buy better butter. And then you have that. And then we start moving a little further from that. Well, maybe it's not so immoral to have sponsorship and advertisement in TV. So we move to commercials. You get a 15-second commercial for every show you watch. Then 30. Then an hour of commercials in so much time of a block. Then we get to where we are with cable. Cable comes out. Cable rolls out, and the reason we have cable is because you get to avoid the commercials when you buy cable. There's no commercials on cable TV. You're already paying for the subscription. So buy DirecTV. There's no commercials. You just watch your shows. And then everybody goes to cable and say, well, we're not making money, so let's put commercials on cable. Then you get commercials on cable, and then people say, well, what the fuck am I paying for this for? Because I have 500 channels and nothing to watch, and it's all commercials all the time. So then we go to streaming. Netflix rolls out, and instead of sending DVDs to your house, now you can go watch all your favorite movies in one place, except all your favorite movies aren't on there, so you got to get Hulu and HBO, and you got to get Stars and Amazon and Max and all the fun streaming platforms. And now, because everyone doesn't want to do that, we say, oh, well, when you get Hulu, you get Disney and you get ESPN and you get Stars with that subscription, so it's all one big bundle, and you get 4 services for the price of 1. So you're basically paying for cable again. Here we are, making the full swing backwards because we got live TV back on Netflix, and now we're getting a live channel surfing back on Netflix for live TV.
You missed
Your
one.
cable provider is no longer DirecTV or Dish Network. It is Netflix.
You missed one.
What'd I
There
miss?
was one step where we went to streaming, and then you missed where commercials were added to
yes,
streaming.
of course. Commercials did get added to streaming.
Yeah, because that was the big play. Commercials aren't on streaming.
Right. Now they are.
Now they are.
Now we're back at cable. We're back at cable, and the only difference between now and 2005, once this launches, is instead of buying DirecTV and having the Dish people come out and install a dish and you get DirecTV, now you just buy a subscription, you get an app, and that is your TV provider.
Mhm.
And
And
honestly,
those are your channels.
And honestly, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I'm okay. After that whole long spiel about how fucking terrible the TV industry is, I am okay with streaming providers just becoming the new cable providers. Because you know what this means? It means we're going to get more corporate buyout. We're going to get, more than likely, Netflix is going to be the one to do it. We're going to have Netflix buy out like fucking all these smaller streaming services that we have, like Pluto and Peacock
Free
and all these.
ones.
Yeah, right. And we'll just have one or 2 or 3 streaming services like Dish Network, like DirecTV, like WOW. We'll have Netflix and Hulu and HBO as a provider that you can buy TV for again, and also have the streaming catalog.
Yeah, and they'll go out and probably buy channels like CMT and
Right.
those. Yeah.
You kind of answered my question, I guess, but I was gonna ask, like, do we even really care that much?
No.
Do we really even care that much? Because, like,
No
yes,
matter what, there's a way to watch your show.
yeah, no matter what, there's a way to watch shows, and like we have access to TV at any time, just depending on what you pay for and how
Yeah.
much you pay, and X, Y, and Z, right? So does it? I guess my point is, like, what I'm saying is, like, this cycle is clearly cyclical, and it's always been that way.
Yeah.
And clearly, there's nothing to do about it. But is there anything, even if there was, would we want to do something about it? Like, obviously the answer is free TV all the time.
Right,
But
right.
then these companies don't make money, and that's never going to happen.
Right.
So if they have to keep making money, and it's just going to be a situation where they pretend like they're moving into a new area of movie watching or TV watching where it's instant or it can get delivered to you or
Right.
there's no commercials or, you know, you get cartoons on this channel and news on this, like
Right.
whatever the upgrade, quote unquote, is, we're still going to consume it.
Yeah.
That's our pastime.
We're consumers.
We're consumers. We're going to consume it. So does it really matter if Netflix adds, it essentially becomes cable again, and then cable gets outdated, and then there's something new that's like streaming, but maybe a little bit more in tune with the
Right.
modern age or whatever, something that we can't predict yet. Do we really even care?
Right.
Because it's a leisure, and
I'm
it's,
holding out for the Netflix Vision Pro.
oh, dude, just putting on goggles and
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're at the movies. Yeah, like, I don't really care. I'm going to pay $15 a month anyway, so
Right.
what's the point if it's, what does it matter? Like, if I had cable, I would just watch cable.
Right.
Yep.
I wouldn't, if there's a movie on, cool. I watch a movie,
Yeah.
like it's not like I don't have free will. I can choose not to have cable or whatever.
Right.
It's just something, I don't know, like just thinking about it now while we're having this conversation, because at first I was like, well, we need to do something about this. This is fucked up that they keep playing us like this.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's like, well, they're not really even playing us. It's just, we're going along with it.
Yeah.
It was funny, like, as you were asking, do we even care? I was like, this was your story, bro.
Yeah, right. I'm just thinking, like, because it's interesting, I guess, more than anything, to watch the cycle be the cycle. But it's like,
Just a spoke on the wheel. The wheel's going to keep spinning.
Right.
I
It's
accept
gonna-
that.
it's gonna
the company's
keep on
going to make
spin-
money despite itself.
I gotta watch The Office one way or another. I don't care how. Put it on Netflix, put it on Peacock, Hulu, cable. I don't care.
You will find a way to watch what you want to watch if you want to watch
Yeah,
it
right,
that bad. And if
right.
not, you won't watch it.
Right.
That's all it is. And because you're right, it's a leisure at the end of the day, right?
It's a leisure. You're not have to watch TV. Like,
Right.
That's something that we all just enjoy doing.
Yeah.
So we pay to enjoy this thing.
Right.
So do we care that it's like, yes, it's newsworthy and it's like, oh, that's interesting to see. But no matter what, at the end of the day, in 10 years, we're all still going to be watching TV.
Yeah.
You know?
Mhm.
It's not going
It's here to stay. TV is here to stay.
TV's here to stay.
Yeah, you can put whatever bow on it, whatever shine on it you want
Mhm.
to. TV is here to stay.
Yeah.
You can call it streaming. You can call it whatever you want. Cable,
Right.
antenna.
Right.
TV's here to stay.
It's very interesting. It's a
We'll
very
always be in
interesting
front of the
thing.
boob tube.
And it's also interesting to think that, like, some people just never got away from cable. Some
Yeah.
people just
Yeah.
only still use cable.
Yeah.
And that's all they don't know about what's on Netflix or, and they just watch cable. It's very interesting.
And it's funny, and again, it goes back to this conversation. But it's all the same thing at the end of the day, right?
Right.
Because we'll sit here and we'll go, well, I'm not going to fucking pay $70 a month for cable. Why would I do that? I'm not going to sit down and channel surf all day. I'm not going to fucking. I don't get
Right.
to decide what I want to watch and what's on.
Right.
But here at the same time, here I am paying $15 for Netflix and $12 for Hulu and $5 for Peacock, and I'm paying for cable.
It adds up to be the
I'm
same.
paying
and-
for cable,
And you're doing the same thing.
Yep.
Right. It's just kind of, I guess it's more about, like, what state of mind are you in as a consumer and how you want to watch your TV.
I think
right?
it's how much do you think you're in control.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think both sides think they have the most control.
Mhm.
I think as someone who pays for subscription services, I think I have more control going, well, I want to watch Drake and Josh, and I know which one of my streaming services I pay for has Drake and Josh, and I can go and watch it. Or I want to watch The Office, so I'll go to this one instead and watch it there. And I think on the flip side of that, people who have cable are going, well, I know that I like to watch Fox News, and I know that I like to watch the USA Network, and I know I have those two things, and I can turn them on and watch them.
Right.
I think both people think that they have the most control
It's-
of their package.
It's literally the term illusion of choice.
There you go.
I
You
know
have the
people-
illusion of choice.
I know people who will literally think of a show they want to watch, look up which streaming service it is on, and buy it for that time
Yeah.
and watch the show.
And you know-
then move on to a different show on a different streaming. And
To what I say to that, not valid.
it's,
Not if that's
yeah.
how you want to consume
Right.
your media. Sure, whatever. There are people who pay $60 a month for. There are people who pay $60 a month for Netflix or whatever, and or cable, and they don't watch it for the whole month, or they don't watch it for
Right, right.
And so it's one of those things where, like, does it really? You're going to put your money into it no matter what, because this is, again, like we said, it's a leisure. It's something that we're choosing to do. But, like, I don't know. Does it matter? Do we care? I hit a button on the computer, guys. So,
Oh, did you
sorry.
turn off the computer?
There's a button on
that's the
the
power. That's the power button.
I hit the power button.
Yeah.
It's a very small little button on the side. I bumped it accidentally.
All of the screens in the Rebel Studio just flashed red.
Everyone looked
I've
at me.
never fucking seen anything like that.
Everyone looked at me, and I was like,
we dissed on the fucking streaming and cable guys too much. Like, you have no screens
Yeah,
now.
they got
You're
me.
done.
You can't watch
You will not be
anything now.
watching. You will not be consuming.
You actually have no control.
But it brings up my other point of piracy and like
People will find a way to watch.
VPNs are already becoming more
Yep.
popular, but like I think about the Fire Stick and how those are
Yeah.
super easy to pirate. But like, so everybody knows that those are super easy to pirate and like jailbreak or whatever, get all the free movies and shit.
Mhm.
But why isn't that the number one
Yeah.
source of entertainment watching? And it's because people. My mom would always say this when it came to smoking cigarettes. She would say, "I'd stick to the devil I know." And so I think it's like people with cable are like, well, I'll stick to cable because that's what works.
Right.
People who, because you think about like in the early 2010s, you would hear people be like, yeah, my family only has streaming services. And
Yeah.
it'd be like, oh, okay, that's interesting. You know, like it's
Weird.
just a different, it's weird, right? Like different train of thought,
Yeah.
different mind of thought. But nowadays,
That's what a lot of people only
right,
have
that's
streaming
It's
services.
weird if you have cable now.
It'd be weird to say I only have cable. People would
Yeah.
kind of look at you like, "Oh, you don't even know about Stranger Things?"
Yeah, imagine we have a conversation and I say, "Man, you gotta watch Righteous Gemstones. You gotta check that show out." And you go, "Oh, what channel's it on?"
Yeah, right. Right. Oof.
How do you answer that question?
Big ass.
What channel's
oof.
it on? What time?
Big ass fucking oof.
What time does it come on?
Yeah,
What
right.
day of the
Anytime
week?
you want, buddy.
Yeah,
Let
yeah,
me tell you about this little thing.
Anytime, any day. You have no idea, pal.
We change your world real quick.
But it's just so interesting to watch
You got
all
a
of
phone?
And I think too, like in the modern era where we have that choice.
Yeah.
If you just decided, fuck streaming, I only want cable, you could do that.
Yeah.
It would be a little weird and you might miss out on shows or something like that
No,
that
you have
want
to DVR them.
But I'm saying like Stranger Things or something,
Right,
you know,
yeah.
like you'd
Yeah.
miss out on like originals
Sure.
and shit like that. But like your life would be, you know,
You
it's
could
not
still catch them in reels. Honestly, you could watch the full Stranger Things series on TikTok.
And you could still bootleg it.
and you could still pirate, right? You could still
Yeah.
pirate it. You could still. There's so many, especially like if you're not living under a rock.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
have cable and you just choose to have cable, but you still live your life normally and have a phone and social media and all that, you're not gonna miss much.
Right.
There might be like inside jokes about a specific episode or something like
Yeah.
that from a Netflix show that you might miss, but who cares?
Right.
Right. It's all media consumption. I think it's interesting that just to watch it now of like, if I want cable, I can have cable. If I want streaming, I can have streaming.
I
can
think
have
it's
both.
Yeah, and then you watch people choose, and it's like, okay, well, which ones do you have, and which ones do you? Oh, you don't have that one. You have to get that one. You know.
I think on top of your devil you know analogy, it's also just what is convenience, right? Because like you said, we have this. We have Netflix with live TV. You can get 800 different bootleg sites that you put on your Amazon stick, and you can watch every live TV channel from here to Canada live as it's happening, or you can watch any movie you could think of that's on any streaming site. You can watch a pay-per-view. You can watch porn. You can put it all up for $12 a month on your jailbroken streaming site.
Right.
But that's not the number one platform for some reason.
Right. Right.
Because it's easier for me to click the Netflix button on my remote and
Right.
pay $12 a month
Right.
and deal with the limited.
You have an auto subscription. You don't
Yep.
even think about
Yep.
it. It just, yeah, it's that, and I think that is like the sentiment of the I'll stick to the devil I know thing. It's purely just people care about what's convenient, and Netflix has built up a reputation, and over the years, cable built up a reputation, and things like HBO. You had to pay special for HBO to watch those shows. So like Sopranos,
Still do.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like the same kind of thing, you know.
I still pay for the movie channels. I don't even have cable. I'm just paying my movie channel bill.
Over
in
here
case I
paying
wanna
for
watch 'em.
Stars
Watching
and
the
shit.
movies.
Yes, watching Stars and
FX
Cinemax.
has the movies.
I like FXX. It's FXier.
Yeah, it is. It's FX here. But yeah, it's just interesting to watch it all play out, I guess. And so like I saw this thing about the cable channels coming to Netflix, and it's the snake eating its own tail, and I guess this is just one of the first times, or I don't know, one of the times more recently, I guess, where I'm like,
we're full circle. This cements it though.
The circle is circling.
Yeah.
And I can fully plainly see it now.
We're
you know?
coming around back on turn 1 from turn 4.
Right.
We've
right.
made the full loop.
Right. And we were mentioning it before we came on air, but like it's just interesting to have lived through the streaming cycle.
Yeah.
Like we were like 8, 9, 10 when Netflix like
mailed you movies.
Right, and then it kind of stopped, and then we went through the streaming era, and and now we're kind of getting out of that.
We're on the other side.
Right, and it's
We're
like
at the end of Redbox. We saw the beginning.
we saw the
middle,
life.
and end.
Yeah, we saw the life and death
Yeah.
of Redbox.
We outlived it.
Literally. That stuff like that is so crazy to me. Did you hear about the people robbing the Redbox? Did we talk about that?
Yeah, I think we talked about it a little bit.
The people robbing the red boxes
Because they just don't care about them anymore.
Such a good gambit.
It is.
Free movies.
It's a good move.
Yeah.
Just break open the thing, take the movies. Who cares?
People are taking the whole thing and just having them at their house.
I've seen people that are trying to reprogram them
Mhm.
to use like as their own personal. You can
That's
rent a
so
movie
cool.
here.
That's so cool.
And what do they lose? Movies they didn't own in the first place if someone steals them?
Imagine how cool that would be if you were like walking down the sidewalk and you saw a red box by someone's house and it had a bunch of
Shane's red box.
a bunch of random movie posters, and you could just pick one.
Yeah.
Like I want to rent Schindler's List today. Fuck
Yeah.
it. That's what's on his red box.
Shane, I think you got a business idea.
be
Get a red
cool.
box, get a Raspberry Pi for the program module in it, and have people rent movies. And then what you do is you burn movies. Don't give out the real movie. Burn the movie. So if someone takes it, they take it. Now, okay, I made $6 and someone got a bootleg copy of Schindler's List.
You could charge someone like $50 per movie to own it per month, and then they can put it on their red box and charge $2 to have it rented.
Yeah.
And then like have people make people.
We're talking
rent out
about illegally
movies.
distributing movies, of course, guys.
Yeah. Okay. No, that would be a big problem. That'd be a big curb.
But only
right?
if they catch you.
Yeah. It'd go under the name Evan.
Evan Sinarski.
Yeah.
The Pidge for short.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to know more about that, you can always check out the Pigeonhole on WSRR Radio. That goes live at 4 p.m. right here on WSRR Radio, but at 3 p.m. during the weekdays, you get Shaney's off air. Hootie! Of course, at 5 p.m. live every Monday, we're here at the Rebel Radio Show or Rebel Replays throughout the week. 216-859-8699, that number to text in. That works for all of our show times. For schedules and more, you can go to WSRRradio.com for our full list of events like Behind Enemy Lines. That's the Cleveland Sports Show from Pittsburgh, PA with Lucas and Dom Farrow in the mornings, 10 a.m. right here on WSRR Radio, or even at 10 p.m. on the weeknights. You get True Vault Escapades. That's the Fallout-based radio podcast from Preston Harden and his crew. They do an awesome job, so make sure you check that out as well. Jules.
What?
What's coming up on July 26th?
The Rebelthon.
That's
Duh.
right. The WSRR Rebelthon. That's 12 straight hours of live broadcasting right here on WSRR Radio. And if you don't know, you can check out the website for the full release on that. But we are free from network advertisement. That's right. All of the programming you hear is from WSRR Radio, local artists, and our amazing local sponsors like Synergy Music Studio out of Chicago, Hellbender Vinyl out of Pittsburgh, PA, and GenericClothes.com, who help support the local music scene, local artists, and local radio. So if you want to join us on July 26th, we'll be live from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. all day long with a variety of hosts, shows. Guest interviews, giveaways, and more. That's the Rebelthon, July 26th. Of course, the text line will be open all day as we raise money through Venmo at WSRRradio.com. We're going to be selling a Rebelthon shirt exclusively for 24 hours on July 26th as well, so keep your eyes open for that. There's also a Give, Send, Go that you can access from WSR Radio right now. We're trying to raise money to offset our brand new radio contract that lets us be ad-free, live, and local 24/7, 365. So for more information on that, WSRRadio.com. I'm out of breath. So until next time, I've been Radio's Rebel DJ Styles. Am I right, Shaney?
Bye, everyone.
On the board is Jules.
Adios.
Peace.